Morning, everybody. So here's my loft. I just doubled the size of it yesterday and I ran out of time. It got dark, so I still have to finish this fly box. I'm gonna connect them together, and I'm undecided if I'm gonna put a second trap door there and make a way to divide these, so when these guys eventually have babies or I get new birds, I can divide it in half and have the new ones up on this side to get used to the surroundings and still be able to let the other ones in and out through here. There's the chickens and the turkeys, next door neighbors. So back to this. Yeah, so the way I have it is this whole front drops down, makes a bigger platform. The birds can go in and out. We don't have a huge backyard, so I had to do this with space in mind. So my door is underneath this instead of the traditional aviary kind of in the middle with the trap door on top. I had to kind of do it all in one, which is fine. It works. The birds seem to like it. They figured it all out pretty fast. And once this side's done, I think they'll enjoy having more outdoor space, and they're definitely enjoying having more inside space. Don't mind the paint. I bought this paint from the same place I got the original color from, and I guess I bought the wrong color. You can see the original color is that center door. It's like a reddish brown, and this is just red. I don't know how I feel about that red, so I only put on the one coat because I may change it. I may just go get a gray paint or something and change it. I don't know. I also don't know how I feel if I want to keep the red, because when the birds are up, it probably stands out like a sore thumb and they'll see it from a long ways off. So we'll see. I don't know. I'm a little upset about the color because I originally had it to match the shed and the chicken coop over there. And don't mind the mess out here. We were working with the chickens yesterday, and I was working in here, making this bigger. Let me go in. So here's inside. I got birds everywhere. So these nesting boxes were given to me by my friend John. He's local to me. He lives maybe 5 minutes away. He's got a couple of really nice lofts and a good deal of birds. He was getting rid of these and he was going to throw them away, and he asked if I wanted them, and I said yes, because it saved me a lot of time of having to build this. So it needs a good coat of paint. I'm gonna wait for the next decent day. I'll get these birds out. I'll come in here with some white paint and I'll paint these, and you know, I need enough time and a nice enough day where the birds can stay out all day and out in the aviary, and I can come in here and paint this and then let it dry before I let them back in. So here they are, just hanging out. So when I built this, I left these small gaps, which I have to put some hardware cloth on, because pigeons do very well with cold weather. It's mostly ventilation is the problem. It needs to be able to ventilate in here in the winter. So you don't want moisture buildup, because then that's where problems happen with diseases, respiratory issues, bacterias. So I left about a 1-inch gap in some of the corners, so we get some airflow. And then the same on the back up here. I left a little bit of a gap because you want the ventilation to be higher than where they sleep. You don't want any wind blowing on them directly. So having it up top will be good. And for anybody curious who's never done this before, I know a lot of my friends were not raised around this. Unless you were raised around it, you don't know anything about this. So you either know all about pigeons and it's completely normal to you, or you know nothing. I feel like there's no in between. So this is their trap door. This we open up, leave that open when they're out. And then you have these bars. So when they're out and I want them to come in, I come in here, I shake their can, I fill up their food bowls, and then they come down, they land, and they can push these bars in and they come in, but they can't push them back out and get back out. So that's the trap door. And like I was saying, I may put a second one here for when I get new birds. Because there's a couple of guys in a local racing club who are trying hard to convince me. One guy in particular named Sylvio, who I'll give him a shout out. I'll drop his YouTube videos, a link below, because he did really well last year in his races. He's got some really nice birds. And him and the guy John I mentioned earlier, they've been really helping me out. They've been answering a lot of questions. I'm probably annoying them with all my questions and sharing my videos and excitement. But they're the only two guys I know with birds. You know, my grandfather did this in Brooklyn. He started when he was about 12 years old, and he did it till the day he passed away. And it's actually funny, I'm meeting guys now around here who have pigeons that all have heard of him. One guy knew him specifically, and, you know, I just have my memories of witnessing this stuff on the weekends with him and helping him once in a while. And I met a guy yesterday who, you know, really knew him and was, you know, going on and on about how he was one of the best. And that's what my mom tells me, and, you know, her siblings tell me. You know, he was one of the best with racing pigeons. He did it in Brooklyn, and I guess his reputation precedes him. He was apparently, I guess, nationally recognized for how good his birds were. He had some secret feed recipe that people tried to steal that he wouldn't even write down on a piece of paper because he was worried somebody was going to take it. So, you know, I hope he's watching and smiling, and I hope he thinks I'm doing well. But so far, so good. The birds are doing good. We've got the 9 white ones. They're the only ones getting let out. Yesterday, I let them out, and they were more hungry than willing to fly. So I had maybe 3 or 4 of them go for a good fly, and the rest of them were like, no, we're not going anywhere. We just want food. Because I skipped feeding them on Friday to get them a little more willing to work the next day. But that didn't work. So yesterday we fed them pretty good. And this afternoon, probably around 1 o'clock, I'm going to let them out again. And hopefully they'll be more willing to fly, but still be hungry enough, because it's right around feeding time for them anyway. And they'll still be willing to come back and listen. So I'm just trying to share the journey for anybody new or thinking about doing this. And anything I can do to help. It's really not that complicated. I know on YouTube it can be pretty intimidating. You see some of these lofts that are just ridiculous, and they're probably very expensive. And, you know, you can do this on a budget. You don't have to do this with big bucks in mind. I mean, I built this for maybe $350 in wood and supplies, maybe a little more. So really nothing crazy. You know, I didn't have to go buy a $3,000 shed and convert it into a loft. I just built my own. And one thing that I learned with chickens, and I'm sure it translates with pigeons, so, is I do not use pressure-treated wood. The chemicals in the wood is not good for them. So you have to use regular, non-treated, you know, pine wood. And then the outside I paint with a like a nice oil-based paint, so it's a little more water resistant on the outside. But on the inside, no chemicals other than, you know, any medicines or stuff like that they require. So, all right, I hope you enjoyed this video, and I'll post another one when I let them out later. All right, let's go get it. Oh, before I end it, so I have one bird who is the best one. He or she flies far, high, and long, and comes right back when I call. So last night I was out here with my daughter, and we put a different color band on all the white, pure white ones, because we can't tell which one it is when they're out. Some of them have green bands and purple. That's what I'm trying to identify who's a boy and who's a girl. But these 3 we couldn't figure out 4, actually. We can't figure out if they're a boy or a girl yet. So they got different color bands. Yellow, blue, that's red. One up there's got orange. So hopefully today when they're out, I can figure out which one is the one that is doing the best. And yeah, all right, well, hope you enjoy the video. And if there's anything else you guys want to see or know, I will try my best to answer it. I probably don't have the answer, but I've made some friends with guys who do, and I'll just ask them. All right, take care.